Hi, welcome to the first TuneTalk podcast. Today I'm joined by Jace Campbell. He's an up-and-coming artist from Salford. How are you, mate?
Sam, mate, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Good to have you on. Right, basically, first question to get started quick. When was it you first really wanted to get into music?
When I was 8 years old, I got my dad to show some chords on a guitar that I had,
Yeah.
and it hurt my fingers for a bit, so I packed it in. And then anyway, getting older, when about 12 and that, he used to play like music around the house and like Oasis, all the Manchester stuff and all the like Stereophonics and all the indie stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just started getting into it, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to learn again. And he shown us chords again, and he gave us an original Oasis chord book in the 90s. So I just learned from that, and the internet, of course.
That is like quite good, to be fair. Like I've wanted to get into it myself, to be honest, but like I've not really had an influence to help me get into it. So it is good. Like your dad's obviously helped you and all that. What would you say is like was the biggest influence to get you in? Like listening to other artists, who would you say was the biggest?
Well, it depends really. So like, obviously, because I had an Oasis chord book, Oasis were the thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Guitar? Do you mean guitar wise? Guitar wise, like
Yeah, like
not songwriting, just playing guitar.
A bit of both, like to pick up your guitar, and then obviously as you've learned the guitar, like who's really had like a big influence on writing your own stuff as well?
Oh, it's got to be Noel Gallagher, hasn't it?
Yeah, he is one of the best songwriters ever, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, Ashcroft as well.
Yeah,
he was a big influence.
Like him and Noel Gallagher, I think of two of the biggest, definitely in recent generations, when it comes to songwriting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just really simple in it. Like what he does, his lyrics. I mean, half the time they're gibberish, aren't they? But it's like it's mental how he's reached to a generation of kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And adults as well.
It's the way like he doesn't particularly write about something proper, but it correlates to something proper while you're listening to it. Do you know what I mean? So at the time,
yeah, it just means
like that.
It just means something to you, doesn't it? And you don't even know what he's saying. It just means something.
Yeah,
it just gives you a feeling.
It shows how powerful it can be as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long ago did you decide that there was something in music for you and like want to take a bit more serious?
Oh right. When I wrote a song of mine called Lost.
Is that the one you're looking at bringing out? Yeah.
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 So I can't say too much, but new music soon.
keep the fans going for it.
Yeah. When I wrote Lost, I don't know. Like people heard it, and I heard it playing it, and then I was like, wow, this is actually a good song, innit, that I've written.
Yeah.
But then one followed another. You know what I mean? Like after that, one song followed another, and then I don't know. It's just you just get this feeling like, oh, it's happening now. Yeah, it's coming together now.
Yeah, it's like picking up a bit more, getting like more followers and that on Twitter and sharing your music about, like, especially during lockdown for me. Like that's when I first stumbled across you, and I was like, this kid's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you say
again? It's my dad. It's my dad that like telling me. Like at first, I just used to post the odd video like every once a month or something, and used to do at first. They didn't do too well. Just 400 views, something like that.
Yeah.
But then once I put up "The Drugs Don't Work," a cover, and it went berserk. It was well for me. It was berserk. It went like to 4,000 views, and people were loving it. And then I just started doing like monthly videos. And then my dad said, "You should get your own stuff up." And I thought, "Is it good? Is it good enough?" I mean, I thought it was good enough to play at gigs. I didn't think it was good enough to put on Twitter and let people of like around the world hear it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So then I just started doing it, and then like that. I started doing that monthly, and he said you should be it's a platform. You should be using it properly. You should be getting it up as much as you can. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That. And then during lockdown, obviously, I started doing daily videos of like requested covers and things like that. And now I just post when I can. You know.
Yeah, I got what you mean. Like, I've noticed, especially because you said like you wrote your own song Blossom. I was wondering if it's good enough for Twitter. I saw you wrote one called History is History, I think it is, and I thought that was dead good. I was wondering like what like inspired you about it. Was it just like where you grew up and that to like inspire, or?
Yeah, it's about Salford, like my city where I'm from.
Yeah.
And it was the summer of 20. So last year, it was summer of last year, and I was listening to the Smiths, like the Smiths, and I was a bit mad on them. And I'd recently got a 12-string by that time. Well, no, I'd had it a bit actually, but I thought I'd write a song on it because I'd never done it before.
Yeah, so it's
And I was listening to William. It was really nothing, you know, the Smith song.
Yeah.
And I thought, like the jingly jangly sound of the 12-string, that can be like, wow, that's mental. How he's took an acoustic 12-string and made it into that song. Yeah, I just thought, right, I'm going to do that. And I had that idea in my head for ages. And then one day, my dad was sat downstairs with my uncle, and they was having a conversation about a pub called the Crescent Pub in Salford. And it's been shut down now. And they were reminiscing about how they used to go in there and, you know, and enjoy it and that. And then my uncle said, I hope that don't get knocked down. But then my dad brought up the subject of saying, well, that's what's happening in it. This old building's been knocked down and then replaced by these horrible, you know, these new builds.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know, that's actually a good subject to write on.
Yeah, I think with the song, like listening to it, it flows dead well because you're talking about like, as you just said, like old buildings getting knocked down, all these little new buildings but getting built up, and I just feel like it was a good topic because like not many people, what I've seen recently, haven't really talked about how like society's changing from getting rid of the old buildings, putting these new fancy buildings up, and it's removing parts of your history from your city. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. It's not just Salford. It's everywhere. You know, landmarks everywhere across each city. Like so, landmarks in Salford, for example, the Salford Lads Club, the Salford Royal Hospital, things like that, and they're still standing because I think they're listed. But they're knocking down things like that and then replacing them. You know.
Yeah, so it is changing this like the history of the city. Like I've noticed that with Liverpool, like they're not necessarily knocking them down, but they're building all these new fancy buildings, and they're just there. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing about them. Like, thankfully, I don't think the Cavern's ever gonna go. But if that did go, that would be like quite sad for the city of Liverpool.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because of the history there and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, is it the building in Liverpool with the liver birds on top?
Yeah, the liver buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll never go, obviously. But if that went and got replaced by this glass, well, they're mostly glass now, aren't they? These new builds. It got replaced by something like that. It's like it's just not right, is it? It doesn't feel right.
Like just removing like a massive part of the city's history. It's just not right. I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why history is history. That's what it means. So the history is becoming history. It's just going to be nothing. It
just ruins it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like sentimental value of the city and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know when you were writing it and stuff? Obviously, you said your dad obviously inspired you about the song, but did he ever like help with some of the lyrics or anything?
Yeah, he helped with one lyric in the song, and that was two lyrics actually, 2 lines of the song, and I had a chorus and I had the melody. I had that melody, and he said, "What about they're knocking down old and erecting new? They're ripping out our hearts and soul too." I thought, yeah, that's good. That
is good. To be fair.
and he said the title as well. I was going to call it History, I think, originally, and he said, "What about History is History?" And then he explained it, and I was like, "You clever man."
Yeah, History is History is a quality name for the song, especially like if you listen to it properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So credit to my dad, Chris Lees.
Yeah, plugging your dad standards.
Uh,
Do you reckon you'll get any of like History is History anything on Spotify soon, or is that classified?
it's classified, mate.
Classified.
Can't say too
Sad.
much.
It's worth a shot. Do you know what I mean, mate?
But do be expecting new music soon on Spotify and all other platforms.
What we like to hear, that mate. Right, I've got another one for you. Joe is like a fan. What's like the maddest experience you've had at like a gig?
Right, here's the embarrassing thing, right, as a musician.
Go on.
I have not been to a lot of gigs. I played more gigs than I've been to them.
Wow, that is quite a mad statement, to be fair, mate. I can't really say anything though. I've only been to about three gigs by myself, then like little crappy ones with the family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I played gigs more than I've been to see a band. I've only been to see two.
What bands were they?
First one was Twisted Wheel at the Ritz. I got on the guest list for that.
Jeez,
So
that's quite good.
yeah, that's who I've been recording music with. The drummer from them, Ben Robinson. Credit to him.
Wow,
because he's played drums on these tracks. So
that is quite good, to be fair to you, lad. But
yeah, and then the second one, I didn't even know the band. It was just my mate. He went, I can get free tickets to this thing here, and I was like, who are they? And it was a band called King Cartel, I think they were called. I think they're Irish.
I've never heard of it.
And but they had a band supporting them called Clear Green, and they class them. That's why I went. I wanted to see Clear Green, but even then, King Cartel were good.
So it was good.
But the maddest, I don't really have a mad experience.
What about
Just
performing?
I don't know, just the atmosphere of a gig. It's mad because if you go in sober to a gig and you don't drink, which I usually don't at a gig, you come out and you still feel like
You are
half gone. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. That was like me at Jerry Cinnamon in November. I went in and then came out and I was like, wow, that was the best experience I've ever had.
Wow, the world's spinning. It's mad, isn't it?
Like, it's undescribable. Like, if you've not experienced it, there's no way to describe someone how you feel after coming out.
Yeah.
It's just one of them. Right, I'll rephrase the question then. What's the maddest experience you've like seen or experienced like while you've been performing?
While I've been performing, I've got nothing, mate. I'm afraid.
Nothing.
I'm not. It's pretty mundane. I've not really seen anything mad yet, but that's
going to change, I reckon, when you get bigger.
Yeah, like you just see a crowd of kids just jumping about in front of you. That'd be a bit mad, wouldn't it?
Singing his tunes back and that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. If it happens, we don't know yet, do we?
Hopefully it happens. Like, I reckon it will, like, from what I've seen anyway. But is that like, do you reckon that's one of your aims in the next couple of years to like do like your own little like headline tour or something?
Within the next 5 years, I don't expect to be massive in 5 years because it's not. It's just it's a slow process in it. Unless you like the Lathams at the moment who are blowing up like mad. That was sort of ridiculous.
What they've achieved within a year. It's wow.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But I reckon to just be like, have you heard of the Jack Fletcher band?
Yeah, I follow them on Twitter.
Yeah, in 5 years, I'd like to be at their standard, doing my own headline gigs in like pubs and small venues, and releasing music and things like that. That's what I expect in 5 years. How old will I be? 22. So yeah, that's probably what I expect in 5 years. In 10 years, maybe I don't know. Maybe I reckon to be a bit open, to be a bit bigger.
Yeah. what's it called? It is a slow process, as you said, but the dream's always there to do what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the opportunities.
Yeah. Do you know this gig you've got coming up in December? How is that like exceeded your expectations for where you were intended to be at the minute? Do you know what I mean? Like when you first started?
Supporting
Yeah.
acts. That's all I've been doing for the past 3 years. Just supporting people, but it's something about supporting that's a bit magical because you're getting the crowd warmed up for the actual main act. So it's like some people are paid to see the main act, but they get to see you as well. So it's just a bit of exposure and experience as well.
Yeah.
So I don't mind supporting. It's a gig at the end of the day,
Yeah, exactly. Getting your name out there as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, letting people know who you are and this is what you do.
Yeah, showing what you're about and everything. Do like what your tunes and that are like and stuff.
Yeah.
Getting out there. Do you know like when you've been writing your songs and that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed like your mental health or bits about it like improved? Like you seem happier or anything like that?
Mental health, that's a hard one because you know if I'm writing a song and then I think like I come up with something like just like click out of nowhere, I tend to start like buzzing and being happy about it, like whoa, what's this I've just come up with, and I feel happier than I do when I'm, I don't know, walking home in the rain and you think, oh, what get home.
Yeah, I got what you mean. It's just like for me especially, like I'm quite big on like mental health and like trying to spread the message like it all matters and that. So I was like wondering, as an artist, has like creating music
Yeah.
helped you? Do you like try and see if other people are maybe suffering and want to get into it, but thinking, oh no, it might make my mental health worse, so they'll be like scared of what people think of my music and whatnot?
Here's my advice to them people. Just when I started, I didn't sing, right, because I had the same thing in my head. Oh no, people might think your voice isn't good or this and that and the other. But then it just happened. It just came with it. I just started doing it. But it's good. It's good that you're spreading awareness of it, and mental health does matter in women and men, in everyone. And if you don't, you're not pressured into doing it. If you want to do it and it's what you want to do, then go for it. Give it a try. That's my advice.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking like, obviously, at first it'll seem quite hard, but if you start small and then grow into it, I reckon it'll be quite beneficial. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, baby steps. Baby steps. Keep at it. Just keep sticking at it. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know how you've already like mentioned your dad and like how he's helped you with getting into music and helping you write tunes and actually told you to use Twitter as a proper platform and stuff? Yeah. Would you say anyone else has inspired you in like a similar way from your family or as like other artists or anything?
Other artists.
Yeah, so like
Well,
people that you supported.
it'll be a bit stupid not to mention the people who's given me opportunities to support them, such as the One Eye Generals Bandit, who've let me play with them on more than one occasion. The Jack Fletcher Band, they're letting me play in December.
Yeah.
It's just people like these who, they're giving you a leg up and they're helping you out. Ben Robinson from Twisted Wheel.
Yeah.
Just he gave me the opportunity to go in the studio and record some tunes, and he's just been pushing. I come up with ideas. Send notes in. Come on, let's do it, sort of thing. It's just these type of people that they're just inspiring and very motivating. And big shout out to all them.
Yeah, that's good. I think obviously because you're so young as well, like the opportunities they've given you are unreal. Do you know what I mean? To like get your name out, and obviously giving your hand to get into the industry a bit more. But
Yeah.
do you like currently coronavirus, what everyone's talking about for the past 4 months? Do you reckon that's helped you grow, like gain more people, like spread your name about? Because obviously, you mentioned before, you're trying to get as many videos about doing covers and stuff on Twitter. Do you reckon that's helped you gain support like massively, or?
Yeah, because start of lockdown, I had like something like 800 followers, and then I started posting, and the first one I put up actually just before lockdown, I think it was the History's History in the acoustic thing I did,
Yeah.
and that kind of like blew up. It went a bit mad that, and thought, you know what, I'm gonna do more of this. And then at the start of lockdown, people were saying, you know, request covers and we'll do it. But I used to see bands do it, and they didn't do every cover that the people said.
They were doing like the few,
you know what I mean?
like most liked up.
Yeah, they did a few, but I thought I'm going to do a bit more than that. I'm going to do like 2 a day, and then people just started following me. That I think my following's gone up to like 2,300 or something
yeah, I think
now.
it's around that. Like with me speaking, like I followed you after you done. Think it was an Oasis cover, and I was like, well, that was boss. So I followed you. I looked through like your media stuff and saw your other covers. So then I just like started listening to like every cover you've done. You were all like spot on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
and then I thought I'd in the process I'd get some originals up while I'm here.
yeah,
And I put one up called Stone Cold, which I did on the loop pedal.
yeah,
and that went mad as well. That it didn't do as good as History, but it went mad. It went to like 17k views, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, it's a bit
it's
mad.
surreal. Like considering like before lockdown, yeah, it was nowhere
Yeah.
near like the scale it is now. Do you know what I mean? Would you
Yeah.
go as far to say like coronavirus has been like a bit of a blessing in disguise to help you grow and stuff? Obviously, because you can't do gigs and that, it's not as good. But at the same time, you've also gained a lot of support.
It's good in a sense that I've gained support. It's not good in the sense where it's made people ill and things like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, obviously, it's the circumstances are quite bad, but
Yeah, but that's more the focus of coronavirus. Like it's not really about whether if it's gained me more support or not. Like it's helped me grow confident over lockdown, but it's the more important thing is about the people who are ill and sad families who lost family members and things like that.
Can't even like attend the funeral and that because of all the guidelines and stuff.
That's more important than my following on Twitter.
Yeah, I got you, mate. That's the end of all the questions, mate. Cheers for coming on, and everyone listening. This has been a podcast with Jace Campbell. Is out on Twitter as Jace Campbell 03, and recommend you go give him a listen. He's a quality lad. So yeah, thank you for coming on, mate.
Cheers, mate. Cheers for having us.
No worries. See you soon, mate.